Let me paint you a picture. A young kid from Queens, raised in Houston, homeschooled, singing in a church choir, making Fortnite gaming videos on YouTube, and somehow, through sheer talent and a phone app, becomes one of the biggest names in music for his generation. Millions of fans. Sold-out world tours. Coachella appearances. A record deal with Interscope. The kind of success story you'd tell your kids about. And then, it all comes crashing down in the most horrifying, disturbing, and frankly evil way imaginable. Because right now, that young man, David Anthony Burke, professionally known as D4vd, is sitting in a Los Angeles jail, charged with first-degree murder, the continuous sexual abuse of a child under the age of 14, and the unlawful mutilation of human remains. And the victim? A 14-year-old girl named Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose body was found dismembered and stuffed in 2 separate bags in the trunk of his Tesla. Stay with me, because this story gets darker with every single layer you peel back. Let's start from the beginning, because you need to understand exactly who David Burke was before any of this, because the contrast is absolutely chilling. Burke began his music career by uploading Fortnite gaming montages. To avoid copyright issues, he started creating original music, blending lo-fi pop, R&B, and indie rock. He released his music to SoundCloud, and the song started to gain traction. Now here's the thing that makes this story even more wild. He grew up in Queens before moving to Houston, beginning his music career singing in a church choir. A church choir. Let that sink in for a second. And then, the moment that changed everything for him, he released the single, Romantic Homicide, on July 20th, 2022, following TikTok snippets of it going viral. Romantic Homicide charted at number 3 on the Hot Alternative Songs chart and appeared at number 33 on the Billboard Hot 100, marking his first entry on the chart. Romantic Homicide. That's the song. That's the one. And given what we know now, that title hits very, very differently. D4vd has more than 21 million monthly listeners on Spotify and gained a huge following on TikTok. The song's success prompted Darkroom and Interscope Records to sign Burke in September 2022. From Fortnite montages to Interscope Records. Honestly, it's one of the most remarkable come-up stories you'd ever hear, if the rest of the story didn't exist. Drop a comment right now, had you heard of D4vd before the story broke? Because I'm curious how many of you were actually fans. Now let's talk about Celeste Rivas Hernandez, because she deserves to be the center of the story. Celeste Abigail Rivas Hernandez was a 14-year-old girl from Lake Elsinore, California. Born to parents who immigrated from El Salvador, Rivas was reported missing 3 times in the final year of her life, according to the Riverside County Sheriff's Office. Think about that. 3 times. Her family was out there, desperately searching, making pleas, filing reports, and the system kept losing her. She last ran away in April 2024 and last contacted her family in May 2024. Surveillance footage and digital evidence revealed that Rivas was alive in September 2024 and January 2025. So she's alive. She's out there. And according to prosecutors, during that entire period, she was allegedly being sexually abused by a 20-something music star. According to the criminal complaint, the singer engaged in continuous sexual abuse of her for at least a year from September 2023 to September 2024, when she was just 13 years old. This is not a story about a one-time mistake. This is allegedly a year-long pattern of abuse against a child. A child who, according to everything we know, had no idea how much danger she was truly in. Now here's where things take a turn that I genuinely had to reread several times to process. Prosecutors believe Celeste's body was mutilated on May 5th, and her remains weren't found until months later, in September. Prosecutors and police say Celeste visited Burke's Hollywood Hills home on April 23, 2025, and was never heard from again. Now, you might be wondering, why April 23rd specifically? What was happening around that time in D4vd's world? Get ready for this, because this detail right here is one of the most bone-chilling things about this entire case. April 23rd is the same day tickets for D4vd's world tour went on pre-sale. The very same day, he allegedly invites a 14-year-old girl to his Hollywood Hills home, the day his world tour tickets go on sale. Some people are out here buying concert tickets while, according to prosecutors, this man was plotting a murder. You cannot make this up. And then months pass. The body is in the car. The car is sitting in the Hollywood Hills. Neighbors reportedly notice it's been parked there for over a month. No one raises the alarm. No one checks. And then, LAPD officers were called to a tow yard in Hollywood. Workers had reported a strong foul smell coming from an impounded vehicle registered to Burke. The car had earlier been towed from the Hollywood Hills after appearing abandoned. When police inspected the vehicle, they found human remains inside. The body was dismembered and in an advanced state of decomposition. And where was D4vd when all of this was unfolding? On September 8, 2025, Burke performed at the Fillmore, Minneapolis as part of his Withered tour. The same day, heavily decomposed human remains were discovered in Los Angeles inside the front trunk of an impounded car registered to Burke. He was on stage, performing, while a 14-year-old girl's body was being discovered in the trunk of his car. I genuinely don't have the words. Celeste's remains were found in D4vd's abandoned Tesla in September, a day after what would have been her 15th birthday. She never made it to 15. And her family, who had been searching for her for over a year, found out this way. Now let's talk about what prosecutors are actually saying happened here, because the motive they're alleging is cold, calculated, and deeply disturbing. According to Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman, Celeste was just a child, under 14 years old, when David Burke allegedly engaged in repeated lewd and lascivious sexual relations with her. But Burke's actions did not allegedly stop there. When she threatened to expose his criminal conduct and devastate his musical career, Burke allegedly murdered her, cut up her body, and stuffed her body in 2 bags that were placed in the front trunk of his car. So prosecutors are saying this was not a crime of passion. This was not an accident. This was allegedly a deliberate decision. Kill a child to protect a music career. The financial gain special circumstance was specifically because Celeste was threatening to expose their relationship and destroy everything D4vd had built. The career, the streams, the tour money. That's allegedly what a 14-year-old girl's life was worth to him. And here's something else that deserves attention. The murder charge D4vd faces carries 3 special circumstances: lying in wait, committing a murder for financial gain, and murdering a witness to a crime. Lying in wait. That means prosecutors believe he invited her over specifically to kill her. He planned it. That is not just murder. That is something far more sinister. And the DA has confirmed the death penalty is on the table. For a 21-year-old. Let me know in the comments. Do you think the death penalty is the right call here? Or do you think life without parole is sufficient? I genuinely want to know where you stand on this. Now, D4vd's legal team is not going down without a fight. He has assembled what you could only describe as a legal dream team. Blair Burke is part of a high-powered law firm that has represented Harvey Weinstein, Kanye West, and Britney Spears, among other celebrity clients. And their position is straightforward. He didn't do it. In a statement, Burke wrote that the actual evidence in this case will show that David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez and that he was not the cause of her death, adding that they will vigorously defend his innocence. Burke also requested a preliminary hearing at the earliest possible date, which suggests the defense is confident, or at the very least wants the evidence tested in open court as fast as possible. The singer's lawyers have also noted that they have received almost no discovery related to the case. His parents, too, have stepped forward. They released a statement saying they are not surprised but are terribly disappointed that charges were filed and that they stand by their son 100%. I'm not going to pass judgment on parents defending their child. That's a natural instinct. But I will say this. I hope Celeste's family gets every ounce of justice they deserve. Speaking of Celeste's family, her mother, father, and sister attended Monday's arraignment and had little visible reaction to the proceedings. In a statement, the family's attorney said they asked for privacy as they grieve the loss of their daughter. Their daughter went missing at 13. They searched for her desperately. They found out she was dead in the most traumatic way possible. And now they have to sit in a courtroom and watch the man accused of killing her plead not guilty. The strength that family is showing right now deserves to be acknowledged. Following the identification of the body, D4vd's ongoing tour and a planned deluxe reissue of his album Withered were cancelled. Interscope Records suspended all Burke-related promotions. And here's a detail that makes you think about how the internet processes tragedy. During the investigation, Burke's music streams on Spotify doubled from the previous week. People flocked to his music the moment this news broke. Whether out of morbid curiosity or something else entirely, his streams doubled. That tells you something about where we are as a society. Let me tell you something that nobody is really talking about enough. The name of the song that made D4vd famous is Romantic Homicide. It went viral in 2022. It earned him a record deal. It sent him on world tours. And the song name, given what he now stands accused of, is one of those details that will haunt this entire story for as long as people remember it. I'm not saying a song title predicts anything, it doesn't. But the irony of it all is impossible to ignore. Here's where we stand right now. On April 20th, 2026, Burke appeared in court for the first time since his arrest and pleaded not guilty to all charges. He remains held without bail. His next hearing is scheduled, and his defense is pushed for a preliminary hearing as early as possible. The medical examiner's findings are currently sealed, and the cause of death has not been publicly confirmed. The DA says a decision on whether to formally seek the death penalty will come at a later time. And somewhere in Lake Elsinore, California, a family is sitting with a grief that, as the district attorney himself said, is incalculable. A little girl who was reported missing 3 times, whose family kept screaming for help, who allegedly ended up in the Hollywood Hills home of a music star and never came home. She deserved protection. She deserved safety. She deserved to turn 15. And she deserved to grow up. I'll say this, regardless of how this trial unfolds, regardless of what the evidence shows or doesn't show, regardless of what the defense argues, Celeste Rivas Hernandez was a real person. A daughter. A sister. A child. And her name deserves to be remembered. Drop a comment below. What is your reaction to this story? Did you know who D4vd was before this? And do you think he'll actually face the death penalty? Or will this end in a plea deal? Let's talk about it. And if you're watching this and you're new here, subscribe, because we cover these stories with the depth they deserve. Share this video. Let more people know Celeste's name.